Silent Hill 2, a masterpiece in psychological horror and storytelling. But lurking beneath its haunting story and cryptic endings lies a chilling theory, the loop theory. Could James Sunderland be trapped in an endless cycle of torment? Let's dive deep into the foggy streets of Silent Hill and unravel this mystery. To understand the loop theory, we need to revisit Silent Hill 2's core story. James Sunderland arrives in Silent Hill after receiving a letter from his deceased wife, Mary. Encountering twisted creatures and broken individuals, all while wrestling with his own guilt. By the game's end, players discover the heart of James's pain. He killed Mary in an act of mercy, or perhaps selfishness.
Mary, could you really be in this town?
The loop theory suggests that Silent Hill traps James in a never-ending cycle. Each time he reaches the end, he is sent back to the beginning to relive his torment. Why? Because James hasn't fully confronted his guilt, or perhaps the town won't let him go.
In my restless dreams, I see that town. Silent Hill. You promised you'd take me there again someday, but you never did. Well, I'm alone there now, in our special place, waiting for you.
Silent Hill is a place that reflects personal guilt and trauma. Other characters, like Angela and Eddie, are consumed by their sins. James might also be unable to escape his guilt, forcing him to relive his journey over and over. The town itself feels disorienting, like a maze with no real end. The save points scattered through the game could symbolize checkpoints in this endless loop. Each restart could mean James is still searching for closure. Each of the game's endings, whether James leaves with Laura, drowns himself, or reunites with Mary, could represent different attempts to escape the loop. But what if none of them are definitive? What if the real ending hasn't been found because James is still trapped? Fans have dissected Silent Hill 2 for years, pointing to subtle clues. For example, James' letter from Mary vanishes after a certain point in the game. Could this signify the town resetting his reality? In interviews, developers have hinted that Silent Hill's narrative is intentionally ambiguous. The lack of a definitive timeline might suggest that James's journey is designed to repeat endlessly. If the loop theory is true, it adds a layer of existential horror to Silent Hill 2. It's not just about confronting guilt. It's about being forever trapped by it. James becomes a prisoner of his own mind, just as the town intended. Fans have long speculated that these endings don't truly resolve James's story. Instead, they may mark the beginning of another loop, one where James is trapped in Silent Hill, endlessly reliving his guilt and searching for redemption. The remake by Bloober Team is an opportunity to revisit this theory through a modern lens. Developers have promised a faithful adaptation of the original's themes, but they've also hinted at deepening the psychological horror with updated technology and storytelling. So, how does Bloober's approach strengthen the loop theory?
It's like someone's groping around my skull.
The remake's hyper-realistic visuals heighten the sense of disorientation. The mist feels thicker, the town more surreal, qualities that align perfectly with the idea of an endless, dreamlike loop. Bloober is known for its focus on mental health and fragmented realities, as seen in their games like Layers of Fear and The Medium. Their emphasis on James's internal struggle could amplify the idea that he's trapped in a psychological loop, unable to break free from his guilt. In interviews, Bloober has suggested they're reinterpreting some elements to make them more personal and emotionally resonant. What if these changes reflect James's awareness, or lack thereof, that he's reliving the same nightmare over and over? One fan theory even speculates that the remake itself is part of the loop. By revisiting James' story in a new form, the cycle continues, mirroring the inescapable torment he faces within Silent Hill. In the original game, James's endings, Leave, In Water, Maria, and Rebirth, offered different interpretations of his fate. But if the loop theory holds true, none of these truly set him free. Instead, they represent different stages of his cycle. With the remake, we see these endings expanded and reimagined. Bloober provides new hints of James's journey. The remake introduces new endings that further question, is James in a loop? The Silent Hill 2 loop theory adds an extra layer of existential dread to an already haunting story. Whether James is truly trapped in a never-ending cycle, or if the remake offers a chance for closure, remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, Silent Hill continues to pull us into its foggy embrace, forcing us to confront our own questions about guilt, redemption, and the possibility of escape. The loop theory is rooted in the idea that Silent Hill operates not just as a physical space, but as a metaphysical trap. Here are several additional details that strengthen this concept. The fog and unchanging landscape. Silent Hill's fog creates a disorienting sense of timelessness. Unlike other games where environments evolve or reflect progression, Silent Hill 2's setting feels static, as though it exists outside conventional time. Even when James enters new areas, there's a sense that he's walking in circles. The monsters and their recurrence. Many enemies, like the lying figures or nurses, are tied to James's psyche. They reappear consistently, not just as obstacles, but as representations of his unchanging guilt. Pyramid Head is particularly significant. He's not just a punisher, but an enforcer of the loop. Each time James encounters Pyramid Head, it's a reminder that he hasn't escaped his judgment.
Oh, it's you.
Yeah. I'm James.
Angela.
Angela. Okay. Look, I'm not sure what you're planning, but there's always another way.
Really?
James's fragmented memory.
Point.
James begins the game with only a partial understanding of his actions. This selective amnesia could indicate that each loop begins with his memories, reset to a point before his guilt is fully realized. This theory is reinforced by the gradual nature of his revelations as the game progresses.
Are you afraid? Sorry.
It's okay. Did you find your mother?
No. Not yet.
The vanishing letter. The letter from Mary, which lures James to Silent Hill, disappears from his inventory mid-game. This could symbolize the point at which the town fully takes over, resetting his awareness and reinitiating the loop.
In my restless dreams, I see that town. Silent Hill.
In Water Ending. In this ending, James succumbs to his despair and drowns himself in Toluca Lake. While it seems like an escape, it might represent a reset mechanism where the town forces him back to the beginning, only for him to try again. Maria Ending. James chooses to stay with Maria, a manifestation of his denial. This ending could signify that James has failed to learn from the cycle and is doomed to repeat it until he confronts his guilt head-on. The rebirth ending, where James seeks to resurrect Mary using occult rituals, could hint that he's attempting to break the loop by force, though Silent Hill's nature likely won't allow it. Even the leave ending, often seen as the most positive, doesn't explicitly show James leaving Silent Hill. Is it possible that he only believes he's found closure and the cycle continues anyway? Mirrors and reflections. Mirrors are a recurring visual motif in Silent Hill 2. They could represent James's self-examination, or a hint that his reality is cyclical, with each reflection showing another iteration of his journey. Looping soundscapes. The game's audio design subtly reinforces the loop theory. Distant sounds like sirens, industrial noises, and repetitive ambient tracks create a sense of being caught in an endless, inescapable environment. Angela, who also suffers from trauma and guilt, explicitly states, "For me, it's always like this." This line suggests that Silent Hill personalizes torment, trapping individuals in their own cycles. If Angela's suffering is eternal, why not James?
Daddy!
Laura, the young girl seemingly unaffected by Silent Hill's horrors, might represent a connection to reality. Her departure at the end of the Leave ending could symbolize a missed opportunity for James to escape the cycle.
What's a little girl like you doing here anyway?
I dunno. What's a big dum-dum like you doing here anyway?
Hey, that's not very nice. Didn't your parents teach you any manners?
The loop theory implies that Silent Hill itself perpetuates the cycle. But why? Here are two possibilities. James' own guilt. James' inability to forgive himself may be the key factor. Silent Hill is a reflection of the soul, and until James fully confronts and absolves himself, the town won't release him. The nature of Silent Hill. Alternatively, the town may be inherently malevolent. If it's a sentient force feeding on human suffering, James's torment may serve its purpose, ensuring he remains trapped forever. One possible and grim outlook on the loop theory would be James Sunderland discovering dead bodies that resembles himself, a failed attempt at Silent Hill's loop in which James succumbed to his overwhelming feelings of guilt. The Silent Hill 2. Loop theory remains one of the game's most haunting interpretations. Whether James Sunderland is doomed to wander Silent Hill for eternity, or if his torment will finally end, one thing is certain: the foggy streets of Silent Hill will never let us go. Do you think the remake confirms the loop theory, or does it leave it even more ambiguous? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Silent Hill's mysteries, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more horror game theories. Until next time, stay out of the fog.
In my restless dreams, I see that town. Silent Hill. You promised you'd take me there again someday, but you never did.